B'meila, this is, Srafim are burnt. They're pushed because they're receiving something which is higher than their understanding. B'meila nisrafim. They're burnt with their hasogah. Zikrichem vayt. They're going further than their limit. And the masrafim are amayla sheheim amayla chi yena b'malochim. Heim beila mabriya. They're the most intellect over all the malachim, all the angels, and they begin from beila mabriya. Mashenke neshamas Yisrael shorshem hu beila matzilus. Neshamas Yisrael, their source is in Eilam Atzilus. Because Neshamas Yisrael and Neshamas come from higher, which this shows that a soul is higher than limitation. Ve'at sheyesh Neshamas, shegam b'yesam be'elam hazeh harim Neshamas d'Atzilus. There are Neshamas that even as they are in this physical world, they are Neshamas of Atzilus. Which means that their sense, their intuition, their conduct is as in Eilam Atzilus. Right. And they are reflecting what's happening in Eilam Atzilus in their physical actions. Ukemei nishmas Rashbi, the neshama of Rav Shimon ben Yochai, v'nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu, the soul of Moshe Rabbeinu, v'gam nishmas Rabbeinu Azokeh, and also the neshama of the Alter Rebbe, founder of Chabad. Kemevur bekama sichas gdeishes, shehoysa neshama d'Atzilus. The Alter Rebbe was in neshama of Atzilus. The mezem muvan gam benegile memale mekeime, kol nosi v'nosi b'deire. From this we understand that every successor of the Alter Rebbe, of the founder of Chabad, sheheim neshama d'Atzilus, is a neshama of Atzilus.
Is it the same thing that to say that they weren't affected by the Het Etzadah?
When they mention Neshama d'Atzilus, they don't relate it, they don't put it together, the Chet Etzadas. They don't mention that it's also beyond that. They're just mentioning that the sense that the Neshama has an Atzilus, this is how it feels here lamata. I mean, the Frierdiker Rebbe says about the Alter Rebbe, when the Alter Rebbe, the Moshel, moved his right hand. So Chassidim would say that the attribute of chesed, of generosity l'mayla, is doing something now. It's like a reflection. It's a kigavno dileila. The Alter Rebbe was, the Rebbe Rashab speaks about it, he was an image, a reflection from above. It's interesting that the Alter Rebbe Moshe would fall asleep Friday before Kabbalah Shabbos. Not the Pshat here, we're going to the bed to fall asleep. He fell asleep because l'mayla, in the higher heavens, at that time, there is an elevation from one world to a higher world. And therefore, there is something that's called Durmito de Zoh. There's like a certain lapse, a certain intermission, a certain relaxing that takes place in, the hell and whatever sleep means in the higher worlds. So this is what the Alter Rebbe was doing because L'mayla there's such an inyan then. They say the difference between the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Hillel Paritzer, or another chassid would just lay down in bed and go to sleep, which actually everybody could manage that Friday evening. But when it comes to the Alter Rebbe, wherever he was, he just fell into, napped off then. Because this is it's hard to say, because it seems like it is mamish already after Mincha, already in Shabbos. I mean, it says the Magid would rest before Shabbos, an hour or two. But it's mashma from this man I was described that it was already the beginning of the Shabbos, like before Kabbalah Shabbos. The Nosi you see in the footnote, in our footnote 22, this is the Maimer that we quoted in the past, that the Rebbe says there, Nesiya Chabad, they have this inyan that as it is in Atzilus, that's how they see the world here. What is the difference? What does it signify? It is elikus b'pshitus mitzias b'yischatshus. Elikus, godliness, is something that is a fact, established fact, and world is something alien to them, something new, something different. This is the way they looked at the world. But it's not the pshat that they had nothing to do with money or anything. They had understanding, the Rabbeim had understanding in Gashmis. They were asked eitzes begashmis, guidance, advice. And the middle of the Rebbe says that he didn't know the difference between one coin and another. It says, and then the Sipurim Rappelov, he Pasha didn't know what the value of the coin was. He was completely removed from the world. It's mentioned, the Gemara in Psachim Benegir to another Yid. another one of the sages, that he also lehikir b'tzura de matbeya. He didn't know what the matbeya was. But bichlal, the Rabbeim, it came, by the Rabbeim, it was Elam Hazeh, Elam Haba. They knew ganz well what's doing in Elam Hazeh with all the inyanim that's happening. Together with that, their view, their perspective was that the essence of everything is godliness, and the world is an outer shell. So B'meila, the Rebbe continues, in addition to Neshama Datzilus, is the Nasi Shebechol Der Vader, the leader in every generation, the Nasi of the generation, who is Pashtusa de Meisha, is actually an extension of the Neshama of Meisha, which, as it's noted in the Ha'ora footnote 22 star, is from Tikkun Zeya. The Tikkun Zeya says it. That every generation there's this Pashtusa de Meisha. Shahoya Neshama Datzilus. There was a Neshama Datzilus. And it's interesting because this is in every generation's Pashtusa de Meisha. And then you have it that Alter Rebbe brings it in Torah 8, one of the Hasidic discourses in Parsha Yisrael. Mareim and Maseyim, that's how it begins. That, which is connected with the prophecy of Yeshaya, Isaiah, with the Merkava, the heavenly chariot, that Meisha Shapir Ka'amret, that a Talmud Chacham is called Meisha. Bechlal Talmud Chacham. Alachas Kama V'Kama was speaking about the Nasi, the leader of the Nasi in every generation. Then the Rebbe continues on page 220. V'kol shekin v'kal v'chemer, and surely Nisi Chassidus, the leaders of Chassidus, Shavidosam ois hafotzas hamayon chutza. Their Aveda was hafotzas hamayon. The Mela, since their Aveda is hafotzas hamayon chutza, spreading well springs of Chassidus, lahofritzas mayonesav shel Rashbi, to spread the well springs of the Rashbi, the wells of Rashbi, Shoyagam ke neshama datzilus canal, he was a neshama of Atzilus. V'gam ha-neshama is the biyah, and also the neshamas of the lower worlds. Keila lafilu neshama nishmes dereinu dora dikvese de Mashiach. And even the neshamas, the souls of this generation, which is the generation of the healed of Mashiach, harishor shemu gam ken be'elam Atzilus. Their source is also in Elam Atzilus. As we say in the beginning of Birchas HaShachar, that was set up and designated to the Anshe Knesset Agdela, B'chol Yem Vayem Neshama Shenasata Bi Teherei Atav Rasachulu, that a person says every day, the Neshama that you placed in me, you installed in me, is Teherei, is pure. You have created her, v'chulu. And then it says, Yitzarta, drawing down in different worlds. Umevur bekama mekemes, and it's mentioned in many different places. The ato v'rosa koyal neshama kifishi be'elam habriya. When we say ato v'rosa, you created her, this is already the stage of the neshama as it is in elam habriya. Uteheroi koyal neshama kifishi ba'tzilus. Tehera goes on the neshama as it is not Atzilus, which is before it's even the status of creating. Every neshama, the source of every neshama is not Atzilus. And here comes in an interesting comment that the Rebbe once made. It was by a Fabreng and by a gathering in the first years of the Nesius. And between the Sichas, the Rebbe asked someone where he was. So about somebody else. So he told the Rebbe that he left already. He was here early and he left. So the Rebbe said, being here, everybody was here before. Neshama shenosata b'taheirahi. They all come from Atzilus. Their roots are all pure and high and great. The question is where they're now. So this is the way that Rebbe phrased it, asking where somebody is. The inyan zeh, this inyan kosher gamim avedas hayem akedem. This inyan that we say in the morning, the beginning, that the neshama that you installed in me is, you created it, is pure, and you created